Assalamu alaikum everyone. Today's video is on parallel lines. This video is just on some angle rules which relate to parallel lines. Before we start, just a quick note, the symbol over here will be used for the words angle or angles, right? So that symbol basically means the word angle. Okay, let's get started. So if we look at the diagram over here, well, firstly let's start off with what parallel lines are. Parallel lines are two lines that never meet, two or more lines that never meet, and the distance between them is the same at all the points. That's what parallel lines are. Now, any line that goes through a set of parallel lines or intersects or meets a set of parallel lines is called a transversal. So the green line here is called the transversal. Now in this case, the transversal has split the parallel lines into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different angles. The angles that are in between the parallel lines are called the internal angles. So they are in between the parallel lines, and those are angle C, angle D, angle E, and angle F. Okay, and those on the outside of the two parallel lines are called external angles, and these are angle A, angle B, angle G, and angle H. Okay, so we're gonna start off with the angle rules. We're gonna first look at corresponding angles. Now I'm gonna give you three conditions that need to be met in order for a pair of angles to be corresponding angles. So the first condition is both these angles on the same side of the transversal. The second condition, a bit slow in writing. The second condition is one of the angles is internal and the other one is external. And I'm just giving you a brief set of notes here. So one angle is internal, the other one's external. The third condition is together the angles form a capital F kind of form an F, like a capital F. And the fourth point is what you need to write down as the reasoning or the property, which is corresponding angles are equal. So these angles are exactly the same. I forgot the I. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to look at what angles are corresponding. So let's look at the conditions. The first one, same side, the angles are on the same side of the transversal. So I'm going to start off with the right hand side. One is internal and other is external. Let's see. So we start off with B. It's an external angle on the right hand side of the transversal, and then D is an internal angle on the right hand side of the transversal. But if I was to go over this, say in a different color, yeah, so that's angle B and that's angle D. Oops. it does not look like an F to me, so that does not form a set of corresponding angles. But let's check again. Angle B is an external angle on the right hand side, and angle F is an internal angle on the right hand side. And if I look at that, it looks like an upside down F, capital F, or rotated F I should say. So these two angles form a pair of corresponding angles, so I can say angle B equals angle F. Similarly, I can say angle D is the same as angle H because it meets the three conditions. Angle D is internal, angle H is external, both on the same side of the transversal, so I can say that. And then together they did make an F shape, sort of, not an F shape, like the two angles meet to form something that looks like a capital F. And similarly, we'll have angle A and angle E. Again, that is like a rotated F. And the last one would be angle C, which is internal. So on the left hand side of the transversal, that's the same as angle G, which is external and on the left hand side of the transversal. Okay, so angle C is equal to angle G. Okay, so that's corresponding angles for us. So then I'm going to try and get rid of this so that I can move on to the next set of angle rules, which is going to be alternate angles. I'll leave the numbers 1, 2, 3 and 4 on there, and I need to get rid of the angles. So move on to the second set of rules. There we go. Right, so we're looking at alternate angles. Okay, let's get started on these. So the first rule is both of them are on different sides of the transversal. So both these angles are on different sides of the transversal. So what that means is if one angle is on the right, the other one will be on the left. I made a spelling error. This is meant to be an R. Okay. The second one is both angles are internal. So both of these angles are in between the two parallel lines. The third point is together they make a Z, like something that looks like a Z. And the fourth point, which is the angle property and what we would write as a reasoning or in the exams as well, is alternate angles are equal. Okay, so let's see what angles are alternate over here. So remember, firstly, they have to be on different sides of the transversal. So one has to be on the right, one has to be on the left, and they both have to be internal. So let's start off with this one. D is internal, that's on the right. So for something to make an alternate angle with D, it has to be on the left hand side, and it has to, so we have C, which is on the left hand side as well. Now Now if I go over the angle C, looks like this. That looks like a capital T, not like a Z. So D and C actually are not alternate angles, they're angles on a straight line, they add up to 180 here. But however, D and E are both internal on different sides of the transversal, and that looks like a rotated Z, so they make an alternate, a pair of alternate angles, sorry. So I can write angle D is equal to angle E, and I have another pair here, angle C, which is internal on the left hand side, so the other pair has to be internal on the right hand side, which is F, can't be D, right? So angle C is equal to angle F, and that looks like a Z, right? So I need to get rid of some of the stuff here now to move on to the next set of rules. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to look at something called allied angles, or it's also commonly known as co-interior angles. And once we've done that, that will be it for this particular video. Then we'll do some examples in another video. So allied angles, also known as co-interior angles. So let's start off. Both these angles are on the same side of the transversal. Bit slow, but I'm just trying to get this down. Okay, so if one of these angles is on the left, the other one will also be on the left. If one is on the right, the other one's also on the right. The second one is both angles are internal. Oops, I was trying to write too quick over there. Both angles are internal, so both of them are in between the parallel lines. Point is together they, again trying to write quick, sorry. They make something that looks like a C. And the fourth point, which is the angle property, which is allied angles add up to 180 degrees. They're not equal in this case, unlike corresponding and alternate angles. They add up to 180 degrees. So let's see which angles form allied angles. Right, so we'll start off with angle D, because it's an internal angle on the right hand side of the transversal. So that's angle D, and then other angle which will form an allied angle with is going to be angle F here, and can you see they make like a C? So, and I will say angle D plus angle F is equal to 180 degrees. So both of these angles add up to 180 degrees. Similarly, on the other side you have angle C, and we have angle E. Both of them are internal angles on the same side, on the left hand side of the transversal, and again it looks like a reflected C, the two angles of that. And I we'll write down angle E plus angle C equals 180 degrees. Whoops. Thank you very much. Okay, so those were the angle rules which we are gonna use with parallel lines, and we're gonna do some examples later on, hopefully in another video. But these are the angle rules relating to parallel lines.